I've coached over 70 people how to quit porn, and one of the most asked questions is, why doesn't God deliver me from porn? You may ask this question yourself, like, I'm praying a lot, I'm asking God for help and to deliver me from these lustful fantasies, I'm going to church once a week. Why doesn't God deliver me from porn? And I used to think the same way, and I've done all those things myself, but I was still addicted to porn for over 10 years. And looking back now, what I can see is that even though I was doing all those things, praying, going to services, my mind and my soul weren't fully in it. I would speak words while praying, and I wouldn't even think about these words. My mind would be to the last video game that I played, to the last song that I listened, to the last post on social media that I saw. Now, I didn't do that voluntarily. I didn't know that at the time, but I was overstimulated. My mind was occupied by all those cheap dopamine-inducing things, and I wasn't able to focus on real, serious stuff. It wasn't kind of my fault, but I had to take on responsibility to deal with it. So maybe that God doesn't deliver me from porn. Maybe I'm just not asking him sincerely enough. Like, how can I expect God to deliver me from porn when I don't even connect with him, right? My mind is so overwhelmed with the noise coming from outside, I can't even hear him talking to me. And I searched for arguments for this exact issue in the Bible. And here's what I found. Jesus would go to quiet, intimate places to pray. Chapter 1, verse 35. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. What is the takeaway from this? Well, even Jesus would go to a solitary place where no one is around, no one can distract him, and that's how he would talk to his Father. And here I am, full of pride, thinking that my half-assed pray will just do the trick. It doesn't work that way. And so if you're doom scrolling on TikTok for 5 hours a day, if you're listening to satanic modern music, if you are binging TV shows, and then you get temptations, and then you try to pray them away, sorry, but that's probably not the way to go. I can just talk from my own experience, but the only times when I would be able to connect with God and like really ask for help and actually receive it was when I would go on so-called dopamine detoxes, like where I would essentially fast from everything that distracts my attention and gives me cheap pleasure. And so the point that I'm trying to make here is that we try to avoid boredom, right? We try to be productive all the time and keep up with the latest news. And so why one of the most common reasons for relapsing is, well, I was just bored. So naturally, I just started thinking lustful fantasies, right? And so that's why I picked up my phone and searched for the things that I was thinking in my mind. But boredom is not the problem. It's the negative connotations around the boredom. It seems like it's a dreaded thing that nobody wants to experience. But what I found is that on the other side of boredom is peace. And what we wish each other during services, may peace be with you. So accepting the fact that modern pleasures, like worldly things that spike my dopamine, have to go, they don't bring much value to me, and I need to sacrifice them for the greater good, made me a lot more peaceful and able to connect with God. Now, practically what I've done was uninstalling video games. I haven't played a video game in over 6 years now. I uninstalled most social media I had. I did have YouTube for long-form content that is educational. Any other social media accounts that I may need are on my desktop, so I don't have access to them on my phone. Works really well. Also, I tried to not listen to music. I canceled my Spotify subscription, and it wasn't like a fun shift. Right? But I think it's very worth it if your goal is to connect with God and ask him to become more virtuous. It's a sacrifice that I would do every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're looking for a community of Christian men trying to become more virtuous, join the free community in the description down below.